Hello guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. So on today's video we're going to be making this embellished 3D rose effect you see here on the picture. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, do keep on watching. Let's get right into the video. So guys, for this video we're going to be needing fabric. You can make use of ashoke fabric, but for me I'm going to be working with milkado fabric. So you can see that I have two different fabrics here in two different colors, one for the overlay and one for the main fabric piece. So this is what it's looking like. So you're also going to need your scissors, your soldering iron, and you're also going to need flower printouts. So you can see these are my flower printouts that I went ahead to print out, and I did different variations till I got what I needed correctly. So I'll advise when you're printing this that you print out a rose with a black outline. That way it is more visible for you to trace out. But I went ahead to use the one that is not as visible, but I went ahead to outline it because I actually like the shape of the rose better than these ones here, and for me they were too big. So now I'm going to be outlining this one because this one is the one I'm going to be working with, and it is not as visible as I want it to be. You can see that looking at it, it is hardly visible. So I'm going to go ahead to use this pen here to just outline them so it can be more visible for me to work with. If you're printing yours with a dark outline, you are free to skip this step. This step is not necessary if you have a rose that is okay for you to work with, but mine wasn't okay, so I had to outline this for me to work with it. So if you're going to be printing this out, you can simply go on Pinterest and just type out rose print out template. You are going to see different variations of roses to work with. You can just go ahead to print it out and make sure you're not printing it too big. You can see that the ones I printed out, some were too big. Make sure you're not printing it out too big. So now I'm going to go ahead to take my interfacing to just place on it so we can be able to trace it out. So we are going to place this now, and we're going to start tracing this out on our interfacing. So now I'm going to just trace this out on the interfacing, and since this is just a tutorial, I'm just going to be doing one of this. But if you're making this for a dress, depending on the design you're going for, you would want to trace a lot more. Maybe you're doing this for the sleeve hem. You're going to have to trace it according to the way you want it placed on the sleeve, and then you're going to iron it, but you're going to see that in a while. So I'm going to go ahead to just trace this on my interfacing paper. So guys, after we're done tracing this out, this is what it's looking like. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead to cut out this from the interfacing. So we're going to cut this out to transfer it onto our fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead to cut it out now. After tracing our rose out, I went ahead to iron it down to our fabric, and this is what it's looking like. Now we're going to be bringing in our soldering iron, and you need to make sure it is very hot before you start doing this procedure. So now we're just going to follow the outline we have on the paper here, and we're going to just trace this out. And one thing I did not mention is when you're saving your rose printouts, I'll advise you save something with a rose that has spacings between the petals, so your results will come out better. So I'm just going to go ahead to trace this out, and please take your time, especially if your hand tends not to be straight sometimes. Please take your time with this, do not rush, and just trace this out. So we're just going to go ahead to trace everything out. After tracing this out with our soldering iron for the first time, this is what it's looking like on the other side. So we're going to take our soldering iron again and go over the tracings for the second time. So we're going to go ahead to trace this out for the second time, and this is for it to come out looking nice. So we're just going to trace it again for the second time so everything comes out well. If you're finding it difficult after tracing this out for the second time to bring out your cutout, please use a small scissors. I went ahead to use a very big scissors, but I'm just correcting that. Please make use of a small scissors that you can control. Although the big scissors, I did not find problem using it, but I would advise you to use a smaller scissors, especially if you're a beginner at doing something like this. Please make sure you're making use of a smaller scissors, and be careful when you're using your soldering iron because it is very hot and you might get yourself hot. So please take your time and be careful while you do this. So guys, you can see that after I went ahead to go over our cutout for the second time, you can see that it's coming out very nicely. If yours is still not coming out, you can go ahead to go over it for the third time, or you can use your scissors like I mentioned earlier to just assist you in trimming out the cutout. And please make sure you're making use of a smaller scissors so that everything is going to come out nicely. So you can see that I also went ahead to go over it again with my soldering iron, and it's coming out very well. After we were done tracing out all the cutouts, you can see this is what our rose is looking like. So we are going to bring in our second fabric, and this is actually a skirt cutout. So we are going to be placing this on it. So if you're trying to recreate this skirt here on the picture here, what you're going to do is the peach fabric is going to be your skirt cutout. The green fabric is also going to be the main fabric cutout, but the peach one is going to be for the lining piece. So when you outline your rose here, you're going to use the peach fabric as the lining piece so it reflects like this. You can see the effect that it gives. You can go ahead to also bead on it or embellish this with your cup chain or whatever embellishment you choose, and you're going to get a beautiful result. So we've come to the end of this video. If you found this video helpful, do not forget to like, share, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below, and I will see you on the next video.